Preparing to live stream. Got it. Do you got it?
Yeah.
Brandon Hauk, Hilding Donaldson, Joey only here up in Wells, British Columbia. I'm just trying to do the thing I do at first. I share the links to places so that a few people show
That
up to watch.
was good. It sped it right up and you just zoomed right into the shot. It was like, boo.
I have no idea what you're talking about because I was looking at.
Oh, you wouldn't be able to see it. No. It's like
Okay.
it froze you. And then as you walked in, it made you walk like 20 times faster than what you usually walk. And it was pretty awesome.
Oh yeah. Well,
Almost made you look like a cartoon, pretty much.
you mean fire season walk?
Yeah.
When I'm like,
Probably faster than fire season walk. Oh yeah.
just. Boom.
You're
So I'm
like
just
ghost.
just finished posting to Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers, where I hope some of those 16.7 thousand members will come on to the show. Check it out tonight. Of course, this is not the Christmas special, the Comedeorological Report. As usual, I thought this was going to be a Christmas special, Brandon. I was wrong.
Well, the good news is next week I'll have Thursday off, so I have time.
Well, it would have worked for me to have done it because if we're going to have an extra long episode, that means I need to dedicate twice as much time to editing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have no kids this weekend, so I could actually have gone to town instead of the fast edit I usually get. You get out of me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, whatever. You don't care. Okay, Comedy Meteorology Report. Welcome if you're new to the channel. You can hit the subscribe, hit like, share, tell a friend, leave a comment down there in the and hey, it's Christmas time. You can even what does that say? Show support for Joey only. There's a little dollar sign there. You can hit that. That would be awesome. That could help me pay for my World of Warships addiction. My Okay, I gotta tell you about this, Brandon. Have you ever had peanut butter chunk frozen yogurt?
No, I have not.
I better not tell anybody about this because then they will start selling like crazy, and then there won't be any in the store when it's my turn to go and get 3 jugs of it at a time. I don't know what happened to all my health eating. I think my new plan is just sit around and gorge on this. It's so good. It's so good. So this is not the show. This is the pre-show of the recording of the show.
Of the pre-show of the show.
Yes, in which the show we're doing right now is not even the
news.
show. Here comes Imogen. Not even the show. It's the show is the edited version I send to Rogers TV and the radio stations. So this is the live. You got it?
The Nutty Club Candies is shutting down in Winnipeg today.
The Nutty Club Candies. What's that?
It's the candy
I
shop.
thought I knew everything that was cool in Winnipeg.
No.
Nutty Club's not around? What do you mean it got shut down? What the hell have I walked into? Damn it, Brandon.
Winnipeg. That's the place in Winnipeg, yes.
Good evening, Imogen Cookie Bailey.
Aloha.
Good evening, Hilding.
Joining from Hawaii.
Good evening.
Cowboy Donaldson. So that's just the
Cowboy
beginnings.
Will say Yahoo.
The beginnings of our panel are showing up, and at 7 o'clock, Frankie McDonald himself will be here. The man, the amazing. And usually what happens is people come on here during this warm-up. This is when we can generally have a look at the weather together, decide what we're going to do for stories this week, and kind of get prepped so that when we make the show, which starts at 7 p.m., we're ready. So this isn't the show. This is the live stream of the recording of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the first time I ever said it that it makes sense? And this is the
a couple times.
This is the source material for the show.
Yeah, well, this is like last week I helped Hilding dial in his audio a little more, and we got time before we got the real deal, right? So, first thing, let's have a look at some of the stories that we want to talk about this week. I don't know if you've seen this yet, Brandon, but somebody in our weather group, Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers, if you don't know, I run up. We're almost coming up on 10 years now. I've run this Facebook group I started, and I'm everyone's favorite weatherman there. And someone posted, actually Brandon is now. Someone posted, there's a strange. I think they thought maybe it was a fire or something. There's a strange glow to the east of the lake, and I
Aliens.
posted this image quickly and said, I think I found your culprit.
The aurora. Oh yes.
Did
Aurora's
Frankie
out.
do it?
Probably
What's
Frankie.
that image?
Did Frankie do it? If there's a weird weather anomaly, I'd like to say that it was Frankie. Frankie's behind it.
It seems to be a little bit away from Nova Scotia, actually, as you can see. So I don't think he did this one. No, you can't blame Frankie for this.
That
This
monster.
looks more like Joe Stover caused it.
Yeah.
Or maybe Olivier, Those
Yeah.
guys we don't see as much on here as we'd like to. So there's that aurora forecast. So we got northern lights going on tonight. What did it say? It said, Aurora borealis activity is currently elevated. Weather permitting, larger northern lights displays could be visible directly overhead in most northern communities. The geomagnetic field is expected to be at quiet to minor storm levels on days 1 and 2, and quiet to unsettled levels. No one gives a shit about those days because they're not expecting much to happen. Hank Vliestra is showing up, man. Okay, we got some storm chasers coming into the house tonight. Right on. And that's great, because we want our new overlords at Rogers TV to see that the storm chasers are us. That's what we're trying to do.
What is the possibilities of seeing extra meteor showers this week?
Well, that's the thing that people were going off about yesterday was Leonids are flashing off, and the northern lights and some people were posting pictures of northern lights and fireballs flying through. I saw Austin Maloney down there, one of your buddies in Lethbridge, I think, posted a pretty fantastic photo. And it was snowing here.
Fireballs of snow.
Yeah. So I didn't see the show as usual. So that's that. That's going on. Look at this. Give me 1 second here and I'll make it better. Bam, it's better. This is BC right now. We got some fog advisories going on. And over here, down in the pass there, Eagle Pass, frontal system tracked through southern BC today. Malacca, Revelstoke Yard, Albert Canyon reporting 10 to 12 centimeters, maybe a little bit more, tapering off this evening. So definitely some sketchy driving though, especially when you get that temperature hovering between 0 and -2 and +2. And, there was some good accidents in the Coquihalla today, this morning. So over here in just this strip, only this strip, 20 to 35 centimeters in that strip. I'm sure it's happening elsewhere, but Environment Canada is funny this way. Same thing, 20 to 35 centimeters. So just those two strips. And up here in this strip, the Dempster Highway, near zero visibility is going on, everybody. So that's something. All kinds of what's going on in Churchill, man. Windy, low pressure system persisting overnight, blowing snow is forecasted. What's that all about, Brandon?
Oh, big low over Hudson Bay, spinning around, doing the hokey pokey, turning itself around and causing all kinds of wind.
80 kilometers an hour in Fort Severn, Ontario.
Up to
On the other
100
side of the
on
bay.
coast of Quebec there. Oh, yeah.
400 meters of visibility or less is going on there. 6 hours of snowfall and zero visibility. And even up there, blizzard warning. If you happen to be watching us from up there, there's a blizzard outside. Don't go out. Wherever that place is in the middle of the north.
Northern Quebec there, yeah. And we've got
Blowing snow, 800-meter visibility through the center part of Quebec. And which, not a lot of people live there either. So No, here's an area where not many people live. Loose objects are being thrown around by 90-kilometer-an-hour winds on Friday.
Mhm.
So watch out for loose objects. And this is pretty close to Frankie there. Snow squall watch going on. So I'm sure Frankie's going to want to talk about this. That's up in the big mountains there. This is the thing is, if we go to Sydney, Nova Scotia, if somehow I can afford to make this happen, we got to go up to these highlands.
Mhm.
So 15 centimeters, 70-kilometer-an-hour winds up there, man.
Yeah, up
So
in the other side there, and chasing the sweat wind. That's something I want to witness is a late sweat wind, because sometimes late sweat winds can gust to 150 an hour, and that would
wow.
be fun.
If the weather's bad and we don't get to see the eclipse, I hope we get to have our hats blown off. Hey,
Oh yeah,
Hank,
your hat will end up in PEI.
how's it going, Hank Leistra? How's Saskatchewan tonight? In case anybody's just tuning in, Brandon Hauk, he's the radio weatherman who also is a producer for the Books Bandits hockey broadcasts down there at the Real Country radio station in Brooks, Alberta. And he's everyone's favorite weatherman, radio weatherman in Western Canada. Not many people who does what he does. If there were, they'd be on this show. And then we got Hilding Donaldson. He's in Grassy Plains, British Columbia. He's a cowboy out there. How's the cows?
Oh, they're doing okay.
Associate producer, I mentioned Cookie Bailey down there in Victoria. He just smiles. It says nothing.
Yep.
So I
because
can't.
you have it on speaker view, so no one can see me when you do that.
I know.
Yep.
That's
So you're just talking to an empty room. You're talking to yourself.
it's great. Hank Leistra, Saskatchewan storm chaser, our friend out there in Wilkie, Saskatchewan. How's Wilkie?
Well, things are good. I'm a little bit cold down here in my basement, but it's actually really warm at night. It's just me being a wimp. Yeah, the weird thing about our weather is, man, when I look at that upcoming extended forecast, it looks really, really likely that we're going to get the first brown Christmas I have seen here in Saskatchewan. I have not seen that in this part of Saskatchewan, never. But
Yeah,
it's
people talk
very
about a green Christmas. You wouldn't be so lucky there.
green. Yeah, maybe in the coastal areas they get green Christmas, Vancouver area, Victoria area. That can happen.
Instead you get, what do you call those things that roll across the prairie?
Snow rollers.
Tumbleweeds.
Tumbleweeds. Yes, you get a tumbleweed Christmas.
It's too flat here for snow rollers. Although in certain places I have seen them. I mean, I have seen video of them. I haven't seen them myself. I've never seen, except for tiny, tiny, tiny little insignificant ones. I haven't seen any significant snow roller action here.
No significant snow roller action in Wilkie, Saskatchewan.
Oh.
And very little significant snow rolling action in British Columbia right now. As you can see, most things are not even, maybe considerable danger. If you look at all these snow reports, and I'll save you the time because I did. These are all moderate or low chance of avalanche. There's a little bit of snowing going on there. So maybe there's a little bit, it's going to come down. That risk, I think, because we don't have a whole lot of snow in the greater forecast. We can talk about that. But I'm going to save you the time of going through these avalanche reports, because look what happens when you're on their site. I want to click on this one. No, this one. What happened to it? Why can't I click on it? This one. Oh boy. No, there we go. Now can I click on it? Where did it go? Here it is. No, that's not it. Oh, here. Why is it? What in the fuck? Okay. No, I just want to click on this snow report. Geez, there it is. Oh, it was a cliff. And look, nothing happened. So I'll save you the time of going through all 20 snow reports that I looked at that had nothing interesting. Oops. Unsettled and cooler. Yeah. Okay. Let's just skip this. What are we seeing here, Brandon? We got one of these spinner offers that's going to hit down to California again.
Yeah, nice upper ridge of high pressure, maybe another atmospheric river, and that'll
Look at that.
offer more warm weather for us.
Did you
And
see
a
that?
brown
There's like
Christmas.
a whole. Yeah. Look at that. I don't
It's
see
not
a
bad.
whole. I think Hank's correct. The jet stream isn't doing any favors, but there's one of those there's one of those rollers. It just bounces off and then slams into California. That's the second time we've seen that kind of activity already this year. So
Nice little storm system. Little
during those years of drought, you almost never saw that down there.
no, but high pressure. That's what we saw. I remember going down there during the drought season down there. Yeah, it wasn't good. So now they're no longer in drought conditions in California. So
Not according to this spinner offer. But yeah, if you look after the spinner offer, bam, look at that. The BC's, Alberta, Sask, Manitoba. That's the 21st. And it's supposed to be the first day of winter. Of course, we know that meteorological winter already began on December 1st. But this is what the
sometimes winter
common
likes to
people
start in
think.
October in the prairies sometimes, but
That's what the common people think. You know, they looked at their farmer's almanac and it said first day of winter, December 21st. And I suppose you could argue that, you know, you're kind of well into winter by the time the sun's met that's the lowest. That's not the beginning of winter. You've already been in it and didn't realize it. That's meteorological winter for you. Okay. So here's that big storm you're talking about. Blizzards up there, eh?
oh yeah, right over Hudson Bay there. See those ice bars, nicely tight packed together, looking awesome.
That does look awesome.
Looks like a lot of fun. That's where I want to be, right where that low was.
I bet you it's throwing polar bears across the bay.
They gave me a free gi.
Let me mute it.
And here's a spinner offer.
Oh yeah,
A little high pressure there, and yeah, nothing. I mean, you got this guy going on in the Atlantic again. They've had some pretty good storms out there, haven't they?
oh yeah, yeah. They've got another pretty big windstorm coming through Monday next week. Looks like wind and rain, kind of deja vu from last week there. Should be a lot of fun.
The 975 when it comes inland, that's not fooling around.
No,
972. If that bottoms out at the low 970s, that's impressive.
oh yeah. Oh, excuse me.
The Pacific, kind of quiet for a change.
Yes, be a little quieter.
Going to the 21st.
A ridge of high pressure.
You know, we've had kind of this consistent sort of pattern of it going up into the Alaska Panhandle, but yeah, you know, California's seeing some. This kind of looks like some textbook El Nino stuff, eh?
Mm-hmm.
You're so quiet tonight, Brandon. Look at this one that could be coming though. Just around Christmas starting to develop. 954. That's some mid-latitude cyclones savvy happening. Look at it dropping right down. So maybe we have a green Christmas for a lot of places in BC, but this could change that shortly afterwards, maybe, right?
Mm-hmm. What is this?
And we got, bam, there we go, finally. So we're looking a little ways ahead, but yeah, you know, near the end of the month, maybe we got some weather stories in BC worth talking about. But really, the thing has been low water tables. It's been warm temperatures. What do you guys got for stories this week? Frankie's going to be here in just a couple minutes, and I haven't even looked at the group chat or the chat there. to see. Hi, Shelly Selinsky. Light snow up there only. Where's the snow? Yeah, so where's the snow, Brandon? Where's the snow?
Where's the snow? Where's the snow? Not my place. Well, actually, it's in central Alberta. That's where it is tonight. Pretty good band of snow happening.
I saw that.
It is
I saw
snowing in
that.
Drumheller, Red Deer. They're getting the snow, maybe 5 to 10 centimeters. So, just north of the Trans-Canada Highway, what snow is happening. That's where it's happening. I do have a couple stories tonight. I also am going to quiz Frankie McDonald tonight, too, you might say.
Oh, are you?
Yes, I have some really cool questions that he might like. He might know the answers to those. There's that snow. Oh, yes. So we've got snow happening. Pretty good pulse.
It doesn't look too exciting on
Heller.
reflectivity, but when you look at it on precipitation depiction, it looks kind of a little more exciting then. And it looks like really none for you.
None for me. Nope. I'm fine. I got snow on the ground a little bit. Maybe 2 centimeters out of Just hanging by a thread. That's what it's doing. Yeah.
Chance of light flurries in Wilkie overnight.
Woo!
That's it. That's all. All she wrote.
Yeah, I saw that. I was watching the forecast there, seeing that band of snow just moving towards Saskatchewan, and once it hits the border, it's just like disappears. Poof.
Yeah, we got 2 minutes before Frankie. What do we got for stories this week? What should I be asking you about? Anybody got a story this week?
I got a couple stories. I'll save it.
Oh, is it gonna be the ones that I sent you?
No. These are
Awesome.
ones from my radio shows this week. So
Even better. I know
They're
fresh
even better.
nerd stuff.
nerd stuff. That's right.
Yep.
I have to write some of the stuff down. That's because it's so good.
Oh,
Notes,
I'll
Brandon.
get it.
Notes.
Notes. I have a whole
Next.
book of notes, show notes from 10 years.
I think I should put a piece of wood in the fire before Frankie gets here.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know he'll be punctual.
The-
And then we'll just be rolling hard.
This is the Fireplace Channel.
This is
I
somehow
was
the
getting
worst version.
scared I
of
might
it.
not see you this week, Imogen, because you were taking a ride in a hearse.
I was cruising around in a hearse, yes. A friend of mine had just bought a hearse, and she actually has like a sort of almost like a limo service with it. So like if you want to go to a concert in style, you can book a hearse. Very stylish, very done up hearse. It's got little skulls on the side. It's all decked out with like 50s decor, 60s decor. It's super awesome. So much fun.
Do you guys want Firewood Channel this week?
I guess if that's our only option.
No. I can just put the wood in the fire.
So you're the guy, you're the hand that takes the wood from,
Yeah, okay. There you go. It's
puts the wood
lots
on the
of-
fire when you're sitting there watching the Fireplace Channel, and then you see some random hand go through the screen with a piece of wood and drops it in the fire.
You take the wood and you put it in there and it burns.
That's right.
There's like chunks of wood all over the floor because don't look at it. His dogs have been eating things,
Eating wood,
chewing wood up.
chewing wood.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. He's here. Should I let him in? I'm nervous. My shoe's untied. I better not talk like that. It's getting the dog excited. 7 p.m. on the goddamn dot. Frankie McDonald,
Yes.
are you ready to record a show?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, everybody, here's Frankie. Okay, give me 1 second. Recording in progress. Good morning, Prince George. Good afternoon, Winnipeg. Hello, Kamloops. And everybody who's watching us, hello on Rogers TV. Or if you're tuned in here at Joey Only, Caribou Weather Dude, where we're live streaming. Excellent. This is the Comedeorological Report. Comedy plus meteorology. Comedeorology. It's your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada. And suck it does indeed. It's never quite what you want it to be. You don't want no snow until it's Christmas, then you want snow. and you're not getting any. So, careful what you wish for. You didn't want snow, and then you had bad fire seasons. Now you're like, man, I wish we had some snow. That would really solve things around here. Yes, this is your show. You're tuned in on C4 88.7 FM in Prince George and CKW 95.9 Winnipeg, 92.5 Winnipeg, Kamloops CFBX, and Rogers Spotlight, Vancouver Island, and maybe someday the world. I'm Joey Only, your host. I live up here in Wells, British Columbia in the Cariboo Mountains, and I put this show together with my amazing panel of Comedeorological weather nerds and know-it-alls. Yes, that's us. I have with us, of course, the world's greatest, most famous, and most hilarious weatherman, Frankie McDonald. He'll be with us in a second. He's here from Sydney, Nova Scotia. As usual, the show started 3 years ago, almost to this day, when I said, Frankie, want to make a podcast? Just emailed him out of the blue, and he said, yes, great idea. And then now we do it. And then from all that, we joined forces with radio weatherman out there in Brooks, Alberta, Brandon Hauk, and associate producer Imogen Cookie Bailey down there in Victoria. And we got the cowboy himself, Hilding Donaldson, in Grassy Plains, British Columbia, but also out there in another part of cowboy country, southern Saskatchewan. We got the man himself, Storm Chaser Hank Fleistra. Okay, great. I think that's all I've got to say to start the show off. The weather's terrible everywhere. Let's talk about it. Frankie McDonald, how you doing so far?
I'm doing great so far. Base Guy Show 10-year anniversaries tomorrow night at 10 Atlantic, 6 Pacific.
Right on. Yes, tell Jack Casey congratulations from us at the Comedeorological Report on 10 years of being an excellent host.
And the weather down Florida is really windy down Miami, Florida. Winds come from the eastern direction. There's got a huge storm heading for Florida this Saturday and Sunday. It's going to head towards Atlanta. It's going to head towards South Carolina, North Carolina, with high winds, heavy rain in Virginia, Maryland, D.C., including Delaware, Pennsylvania, and including New Jersey, New York, and Quebec, and Ontario, and Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maine. It's going to head towards Kingston, Ontario, Cornwall, Ontario. It's going to bring snow and Timmins, which Amy Clump is. In North Bay, Ontario, those places, they're getting snow up in Ontario, too. A lot of snow going on in Ontario as of right now. And in Vancouver, British Columbia is colder and colder than average temperatures. There's rain ahead for Los Angeles next week. In Southern California, then we'll be going for Santa Ana winds to a lot of rain in Southern California. And there's lots of rain going on in Southern California next week, including Los Angeles, San Diego, those places. And the weather for South America, lots of thunderstorms and rain going on in Venezuela, including Colombia, Peru, Ecuador, and Bolivia. And lots of thunderstorms and rain going on in Peru right now, except for the coastal areas. In northern Chile is really windy and in dry desert. Right now, in southern Chile, a lot of snow up in the mountains, rain in the coastal areas in southern Chile. Their summer starts on December 21st. Lots of storms coming off the coast of southern Brazil and northern Argentina. As of right now, weather in Europe for this week. They got really warm air in England, too. They got a giant high pressure system over Spain and Portugal. And the next week it's going to bring really cold weather. It's a blocking pattern in Algeria and Morocco. There's a blocking pattern, got really cold weather in Algeria. It's an odd pattern going on there right now. And they got the cold air in Algeria and the parts of the Sahara Desert. Might even get snow in parts of the Sahara Desert. Because a blocking pattern is going on in Libya and Algeria too.
What else, Frankie?
And sometime next week, it's going to bring lots of rain and snow up in mountains up in Europe, like southern France and southern Germany and Austria and Switzerland and those places. And places like in Italy, they're getting snow in there. Then they're going to push all the cold air all the way down to Libya and those places, and Greece and Turkey and Syria and all these places right now. Over in Western Pacific, there's a big storm coming off the coast of South Korea. Got really, really cold air in South Korea. Vladivostok is getting extreme cold weather in Vladivostok, Russia, and parts of North Korea. They're getting extremely cold weather. And it gets extremely cold weather hitting for Tokyo, Japan next week, too. It's going to bring really cold weather and possibility of snow. They're going to bring lots of snow to poor old Japan.
Oh my God, in Japan.
In Japan too. And over in China, it's really, really, really cold in northern China and Mongolia and Siberia right now. In northeastern China, it's extremely cold. It's really, really, really cold. There's lots of rain and thunderstorms going on in Philippines and Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand's in the dry season now. And Vietnam is finishing up their rainy season. There'll be lots of rain and thunderstorms going on in Indonesia right now. In places like in India, it's in Sri Lanka's in the rainy season still. And in far southern India, there's still some rain and thunderstorms. It's really, really, really dry in India right now. Winds are so powerful in Tibet and Nepal and those places. And wind is so strong in Tibet right now.
What happened with Hurricane Jasper last week? Cyclone Jasper.
It struck northeastern Australia, damaged buildings and things like this. It was
Did the
mighty
weather
bad.
people have, did the weather
And
people have to evacuate that island?
Yes. And there's lots of thunderstorms and rain going on in Uganda, Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and parts of Botswana, Mozambique, Madagascar, Mauritius, and La Reunion Islands, and South Africa. It's because the rain hitting there right now. There's a massive heat wave in South Africa right now. And Botswana is a severe heat wave going there right now.
Is it
And
going
the
to be a
forecast,
green Christmas for most of Canada, Frankie?
some parts of Canada, it's going to be white Christmas. And did you hear about this? It's going to be extremely hot air in South Africa and thunderstorms and rain going on. Mozambique and Madagascar, lots of thunderstorms and rain going on right now, and heavy downpours in La Reunion and Mauritius Islands. And places like the Southwest Pacific, lots of. Then I heard Jasper's going to re-intensify and head towards Eastern Australia again. It's an odd track. And Jasper could be aiming towards New Zealand, possible.
Interesting. That's a double swinging storm. What about
And
up in outer?
lots of thunderstorms and rain going on in East Coast Australia next week, and hail in Eastern Australia and things like this. In Antarctica is 24-hour darkness, and up in the Arctic is 24. The Antarctica is 24-hour daylight, and up in the Arctic is 24-hour darkness. Meteor shower going up in the sky.
Yeah, the meteor shower is going on, and what else is going on in space right now? There's Northern Lights show going off right now as we speak, Frankie.
Yes. And did you hear about this? Lots of the asteroids are up in space so far.
There's a lot of asteroids up in space so far, Frankie McDonald. Anyone on the panel got questions for Frankie McDonald?
Yes, I've got a couple of little quiz questions that I found here on the internet here for Frank.
Oh, Frankie,
Everybody else?
Brandon's got some quiz questions for you this week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. All right. You ready for this? So, how many grains of sand are on planet Earth?
Millions and billions.
Billions, billions.
All of them.
All of them? You think?
Yeah, you know, they're not floating just above the surface, or
No, no. Well, some of them float when you get picked up by wind, and then they just land in another location. But it's a pretty phenomenal number, I have to say. 7,500,000,000,000 grains of sand on planet Earth. So that, I'd say should be a right amount number there. All
That's
right,
weirdly
and
specific. That's oddly specific. How did they determine this?
I guess they got on their hands and knees and counted every grain of sand.
They use little archaeological brushes to dig through to
Use,
excavate the
Use
beaches.
a little microscope, you know.
Yeah.
guys, we checked it, and you were off by 2. No.
Some sand has become so valuable that it gets stolen these days. There's a beach in Jamaica about 3 years ago that a whole bunch of dump trucks showed up, stole like basically all the sand off that beach. It was a white sand beach, famous white sand beach, and they just stole it all and trucked it
Yeah.
off to who knows where.
Stealing sand. It's
That's-
like stealing maple syrup.
That's impressive. It was, had it been, okay, so around here, there are signs at the beaches that say do not take the driftwood. The reason for it is that people used to take the driftwood and they'd use it as firewood. And of course, with all the minerals from the ocean in the wood, this is problematic because now you're just dumping that into the atmosphere. And people are doing it a lot, enough that the beaches were actually stripped of a lot of driftwood, which is its own ecological issue. So we now have signs up to say, do not take the driftwood. Were there signs saying do not steal sand, or are they there now because someone just cleaned it out?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I didn't hear the whole story, but
You shouldn't
I-
require a sign to say don't take the whole dang beach.
Do not steal the
Yeah,
beach. Thank
rude,
you.
so rude.
Right. Just because it's there doesn't mean it's actually intended for. It's there for everyone, people.
Like, I get it. It's D-Day. You landed on Normandy. You have a little container. You take a little bit of sand. Yes, we invaded Europe. Sure. That's okay.
Souvenirs.
Right.
Souvenirs of an invasion is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's like a
That's
big
sand
moment in
one.
history, but it's like stealing a whole beach. Okay, what else you got, Brandon? What have we got?
All right.
Quiz questions for Frankie McDonald.
So one more quiz question here. So how many stars are in the universe, Frankie?
All of
So
them.
many of them. Over octatrillion stars.
All of them. There's
All of
none of
them.
them are just outside of it. They're
right,
all
Price-
in the universe.
Price is Right rules. Everyone's got to guess, closest guess without going over. I'm going to say 8.
8.
Yeah. $1.
Anyone else want to guess? Come on.
How many stars are in the universe?
It's like something like 25 sextillion or something crazy.
Here's a fun fact. You can I did this as a gift for a friend recently. You can name a star after someone. It's kind of, you just Google name a star or whatever and you can find it. So I named a star after someone.
And the creatures in that
Really
the
know
creatures in
the
that star system are like furious.
What?
They're like, we live here.
Yeah. How dare you put a name sign on our yard?
Earth colonialists.
The Munsters do not live there.
So you only had 2 questions for Frankie?
Well, I haven't given you the answer yet. This
What is the answer?
second.
As many as there is grains of sand on the entire planet Earth.
Really no, but
Many-
what?
Frankie, what's your answer? How many stars are in the universe?
Over octatrillion.
As many as we can see in Brandon's eyes.
Gross.
I can't say that crap with a straight face.
Frankie should ask his alien friend.
Yeah.
What would Cal Welf say? How many stars are there?
Sextillion.
200 billion stars.
Am I the only one hearing that number in Carl Sagan's voice? Billions and billions.
Billions and billions of stars. Ha 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 ha.
This pale red dot. 200 billion, that's just in our galaxy. That's
Oh,
not the
yeah.
universe.
Yeah, just in the galaxy.
Yeah, see, I was right. In the universe, it's like a sextillion.
Way to change the question, you ginger jerk.
Yeah. Way to stump us with inaccurate questioning.
Yeah.
Anytime. So
Who
what
else
I
has a
do?
question for Frankie McDonald this week?
I assume Brandon has
Frankie.
another one too.
He-
Brandon's always prepared.
How many stars in the universe, Brandon?
200 billion.
No, that's the galaxy.
Oh, 200 trillion, probably trillion. Yeah, I'm gonna go trillion.
Now is that counted as of now is that counting what we can see with the visible light, or are we
200 billion
projecting the numbers
trillion,
for the light that hasn't
maybe.
actually reached us from stars that are out of our line of sight? Because remember, there's a lot of light getting here. By the time the light from the sun reaches us, it's 4 minutes old. So because that's the distance and blah blah blah. So how many stars are we counting? Is it the ones that we assume are there using a whole lot of numbers and mathing and whatnot? Is this just alien reports coming in, giving us like alien Google Maps or what?
Probably definitely alien reports. Yeah.
Alien
Using the
Google
Milky
Maps,
Way
got
as
it.
our model, we can multiply the number of stars in a typical galaxy, 100 billion in a typical galaxy.
I found it all.
We're a big galaxy compared to some, by the number of galaxies in the universe, which is 2 trillion, roughly. It could be 2 trillion and one. The answer is an absolutely astounding number. There are 200 billion trillion stars, or to put it another way, 200 sextillion. Anybody else other than Joey only guess sextillion?
I said 8, so I did not go over.
What is a sextillion? That is 25 zeros, my friends.
Whoa.
Where are you reading that from?
I just looked up. I already knew that it was sextillions. I said 25 sextillion. I should have guessed 200 sextillion. But I mean, once you're in the sextillion
Yeah, you were closer
category,
without going over.
you're talking
I
about
was
numbers
8.
that are more than I deal with in my banking statement.
Numbers that are bigger than our mind can count. They have to be counted by a machine.
Well, that's true. You couldn't count that high. You don't have a long enough life. And didn't we do this last year? We figured out how long it would take to count to 1 million, and it's like 28 years or something.
You know what Sherlock Holmes said about that one, right?
Or 1 billion, or what was it?
Well,
Who's
Sherlock
got questions
Holmes
for Frankie?
wakes
It's
up
still
Dr.
Frankie's
Watson
segment, and we
he
totally
says, "Look above me." And what do you see? And he starts going off about how many stars he was seeing. And Sherlock Holmes says, "Actually, elementary, my dear Watson, somebody stole our tent."
one of my favorite scenes in the movie Dragnet is when Dan Aykroyd and the Virgin Connie Swale are up at the observatory, and she goes, "Wow, Joe, look at the stars. There's dozens of them."
Oh, I love that she
Who's
was
got
referred
questions for?
to-
It's still Frankie's segment.
I love that she was referred to through the whole movie as the Virgin Connie Swale. That movie
Until the
was
very end.
absolute gold. It was one of Dan Aykroyd's best projects ever.
It was so funny, man. I love that guy.
Oh yeah, the goat
I don't think he was
dance.
cool. Who else got questions for Frankie? It's Frankie's segment. We ran away with it.
My bad.
Brandon, I assume you have another question for Frankie.
Do I? No. I'm
You
gonna save
came-
the rest of.
We do a trivia show every week. You're always prepared with trivia, and this time you only came in with 2 questions. I am
I know, and
disappointed.
you made a big deal about it too. It was
Trivia
like-
master.
That's what I do. I come
I
in with
just
2
found it over
questions.
Jason Marshall and Trevor Garner. That means Jason Marshall will be doing his last podcast before Christmas this Sunday coming, and Trevor Garner will be doing the last Trevor's Happy Hour show this Sunday coming before Christmas as well.
I heard some good things about Trevor recently. Made me happy to hear. So if you're watching out there, Trevor, supporting you. I also yesterday hit 41 months of sobriety, so doing really good. I'm ready to watch some Frankie videos. If no one else has got a question for Frankie.
Sure, I got a question for Frankie. Frankie, how dare you get a haircut that shows up even better looking than my haircut? Come on.
And
I
Gerard
meant to
did a great
mention that. You
job.
got a new haircut, Frankie, didn't you?
Gerard Coombs did a great job.
Yes, he did. You look great.
You're looking pretty slick.
Yeah.
Way better than my haircut, that's for sure.
Now when you go
He
dancing with the
actually
girls,
washes
Frankie,
it once in a while.
Gerard Coombs is my barber.
now when you go dancing with the girls there at the pub on the weekend, they're gonna be looking at you like,
Yeah.
yes.
And that means my barber's Gerard.
Yeah, well, tell Gerard he does a good job for us.
Hey, Frankie, I do have a question, and this is circling back to space stuff. Okay, the size of our sun is the size that it is. It's fairly small compared to a lot of other stars. How many frozen sharks could we cram into our sun?
A lot.
I
Yeah.
mean,
See,
I
now
don't think there's enough frozen sharks.
I specify frozen as opposed to like boiled because when they're frozen, they're going to shrink down. So we could probably cram a few more in. If they're frozen in the right position, if we have like a ball of frozen sharks, then we can jam them in nicely. But if they're all lying straight like sardines in a can, it's a little different. Then you got to do a little more Jenga-ing. Frozen shark Jenga to fit into a giant flaming ball. Whole other equation.
I forgot to mention, by the way, this isn't the Christmas episode.
Yeah, no one is festive at all. I'm the only one with any festive nonsense going on here.
They don't have any festive
I got
stuff.
a terrible little tree in the background that I put up specifically for Morbo. He's actually wearing his little Santa jacket right now. And I got, gangsters hanging out there, big poster of gangsters, and then Marilyn and Stay Puffed. And under the tree, there's some monsters. I'm not going to dig them out. But there's
Is that the movie Die Hard on the poster of gangsters behind you?
It is not Die Hard, unfortunately. And it is not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls off of Nakatomi Plaza. This is the Christmas tradition. Santa won't show up unless you push Hans Gruber off of Nakatomi Plaza.
I mean, Rambo should qualify as a good Christmas movie. All right, major earthquake. Frankie only made one video this week, so that's too bad. But I found one that we hadn't reviewed on the show that he made last year, and we'll get to that. Here we go, Frankie. Oh wait, I got.
This is Frankie McDowell, my own team station live. It's in Nova
Start that
Scotia.
again
Major earthquake.
because I had to move your heads to make the screen big. Okay, let's go.
This is Frankie McDowell, my own team station live. It's in Nova Scotia. Major earthquake's going to happen in California sometime in 2024. The earthquake's going to be 7.0 greater magnitude or even 6.0 greater magnitude. That's going to do a lot of shaking because California lies on the San Andreas fault line. Once those two tectonic plates rub at each other, once it slips, that could cause an earthquake in California that could do damage to buildings and may affect Oregon and Washington as well. For people living in Southern California, you have to be prepared for a major earthquake. Make sure every medical kits, emergency kits, flashlights, candles, crank up radio, batteries, generators, battery operated lanterns, and bottled water ready. So have your earthquake kits ready. So the earthquake can bring down power lines and snap tree branches, have a snap telephone poles that can destroy some houses, even damage houses. The earthquake can damage bridges and things like this. That can damage freeways and things like this. It's San Francisco, Los Angeles, Sacramento, San Diego, because the California lies on the Pacific Ring of Fire. It's on the San Andreas fault line that lies between North American plate and the Pacific plate. That's going to cause a major earthquake sometime in 2024. The earthquakes are too unpredictable. We can't predict earthquakes for people living in California, especially in Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Jose, Oakland, and Sacramento, and all those places. Because California is right on the Pacific Ring of Fire and the San Andreas fault line, where the North American plate meets with the Pacific plate. That's going to cause a major earthquake anytime soon. For people living in California, be prepared. Make sure, lock your dishes in your cupboards, and you got to start doing your earthquake drills right now. When an earthquake happens in your area, if you're indoors, go underneath the tables, go underneath the chairs. If you're outdoors, don't go inside the building during an earthquake. Because the earthquake can damage powers, make sure you have your mobile internet ready as well. Because earthquakes can damage cellular towers as well, in Southern California as well. You need to be prepared for a major earthquake anytime soon in California, especially in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Sacramento, San Diego, and all those places. Including the Valley in California. If you have anybody living in California, be prepared for a major earthquake sometime in 2024. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in a major earthquake. Stay safe.
Wow, it's so windy there, Frankie.
Right! Going!
Okay, so here's a guy episode we
Okay,
didn't
guys,
see.
let's do some dancing. Let's show me my moves.
All he's doing, there's Frankie's moves. The spinorama, the classic, and then there's the what do you call that one, Frankie?
It's just Frankie being funky.
Oh my God, Frankie.
Sounds like gorillas are coming again. Oh my God, the gorillas are after me.
Oh no, Frankie, the gorillas are after you again.
More gorillas, they're after me now.
Even more are chasing him. For radio listeners,
There's another set of gorillas. They won't stop chasing me.
they won't stop chasing Frankie. For the radio listeners,
There's even more gorillas now than ever before.
there's even more than ever before, so this is a big deal.
Jeez, where are they coming from?
There's a lot of pack of gorillas are after me
A
now.
lot of pack of gorillas coming after him.
More gorillas. They won't stop chasing me.
and they just won't stop chasing Frankie.
So many gorillas are after me now.
So yeah, and Frankie's running in circles trying to get away from the gorillas.
Gorillas, they can't stop chasing me.
Try going in a straight line, Frankie. That might make it easier for you to get away.
Those gorillas, they can't stop chasing me. The gorillas finally got away.
Okay,
Thanks for watching on Frankie McDonald.
I love that it's the
one
gorillas that are
more.
escaping
We
Frankie.
watched this last week, but it's just too good. Here's Frankie spinning around, and he doesn't even say anything. He just starts spinning. He just and we should count it. That's 10, 11, and 12. Who wants to? Oh, it's too late. Sometime we're gonna watch this and do an official count. How many spins he's done? He's still spinning. He's got to be in the 20. I guessed 40 last week. How many do you think, Brandon?
8.
I'll go 50.
He's still spinning around there, just like a tornado.
Fortunately, he has a good siren for that.
Oh yes. Better issue a tornado warning here.
Now he can't stand up or breathe.
Oh dear Lord, Frankie, what have you done to yourself? Back on
Frankie,
camera.
no.
Don't fall down, Frankie.
Thanks for watching on Frank Down.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you are.
I would be done for the day if I did that.
That's
be
such a
Curled
classic.
up on the couch. That's it for me today.
What gave you that idea to spin around in circles like that, Frankie?
That's a lot of spinning around.
That's a lot of spinning around. We love you, Frank. You're great. You're really great. Frankie McDonald, everybody. Okay, we're already half an hour in. We got so much to catch up on, and man, it's been a good show so far. If you're hearing us on C for 88.7 and CKUW 95.9 and 92.5, and Kamloops and Rogers Spotlight TV, Brandon Hauk. Talk to us about Western Canada weather this week and what is going on out there, bro. What's going on out there?
What's
Not
going
much.
on?
Brown Christmas?
What was that?
Brown Christmas?
Brown? Brown? Some of us might be brown. Some of us might not be brown. Some of us might actually be a little white. And snow takes its sweet time melting at this time of year because it is December. And when it is December, snow seems to not to melt as fast. Now I'm trying to get my map up here, and it's not loading. There we go. All right, go.
Yell
All
at
right.
it. Hit it with a hammer.
That's what I'm doing.
Fix
All
everything.
right,
Hit it with a hammer.
there's the map. All right,
Brandon's frozen. We're not seeing your map, and we're
what
Brandon, we're
What
not
am
even
I?
seeing you. Oh,
what are you calling me?
absent. There we are. Gotcha. Okay, let's go with the old windy.com. And not even someone
Uh-oh.
get this man premium for Christmas.
Somebody. That would be a nice Christmas gift, actually.
Yes, it
Premium
would.
on Windy.
I had to renew mine recently.
And here we go. So we've got this area of snow that's developed across southern Alberta, 5 to 10 centimeters of snow in the Red Deer area. And it is slick. It is snowy, especially north of the Trans-Canada Highway as we go through the evening here on December the 14th. And it is going to be snowing through the night in the Red Deer area. So by the time this band of snow gets all the way into Saskatchewan, watch what happens. Poof! Gone. Disappears. Out of here.
Wow, it dumps its guts and calls it
Calls it a day. And it
Calls
says,
it a
nope,
season.
we're done. So we're going to see our temperatures a little cooler tomorrow. So areas who've got the snow today will be below freezing. Whoever did not get snow is going to be above freezing. That's how it's going to play out for tomorrow across southern portions of Alberta. But here comes the next system out of British Columbia. So that's going to be a messy, sloppy mix through the Caribou area there. And we'll see that snow in the higher elevations up in the Wells area. You'll get that snow Friday night to Saturday. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll see a textbook Chinook arrive on Saturday. So expect temperatures to be up near 8-9 degrees again. But then a weak cold front comes through Saturday night into Sunday. And what happens? Well, it cools right back down again. So then that doesn't last very long. As we move on in the Monday, we get back to that westerly flow, and that allows the temperatures to go right back up again. So we're going to be up one day, we're going to be down another day. We're going to be up another day, we're going to be down the next day. That's how the weather is going to play out, especially as we go into next week. And it looks like we'll see I'll try to get the system to develop here in Montana. That might develop some snow showers for later on next week there. And but the trend throughout most of next week and beyond is going to remain above average. The average high for this time of year, I know, especially in central portions of the province, is about -5. Average low is about -15 for December the 14th here. So we're going to continue to see above average temperatures persisting pretty much right up until Christmas. So some areas might actually get a brown Christmas, while other areas, as I mentioned, depending on where the snow goes, because the snow takes its sweet time melting at this time of year because the sun's not as strong, especially when it's very low on the horizon. So you're not trusting
And that
anything
means the sun is
from the
strong
sun.
in Invercargill, New Zealand. And
Oh,
their
yes.
long date here is December 21st.
Oh, yes, I believe that. That's for sure. Especially, I believe some areas in Australia have seen temperatures push 35 degrees Celsius today. They're very lucky. I found this amazing radio app. I think I don't even know if, but it's called Radio Garden. I can look around radio stations around the world. And I decided this week to tune into an Australian radio station. And I am very jealous of their weather this week. And I was like, I just had to turn the weather off, like 35 degrees and chance of thunderstorms. Come on now.
Yeah, I could live without the heat, but then when you said chance of thunderstorms, I was like, ooh. What else? You got anything else for us there this week, Brandon? We gotta
Yes.
move through
Yes.
this now. We got
So bad news today in Winnipeg. Apparently, the Nutty Club candy shop closed down, and they're like the biggest candy shop in Winnipeg, apparently. So, yeah, it was a bad day.
oh,
Bad day. But, anyways, over 5,000 people flooded New York town for a world display. So, this is like a world Christmas lights display here. So, this guy, he has 702,000 Christmas lights on his house. So this brings us back to, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, where Clark goes up on the roof and puts all these Christmas lights and pretty much almost takes the whole town's electricity out. So these guys, they put a big world record up. And their neighbors are not happy about this because, well, the lights are very, very bright and they have very loud speakers going on. So they've got the Christmas lights and they've got the speakers going outside. It's very loud. So the one
wow.
neighbor, he decided to join the town council to try to get him to turn his lights off. That didn't work out. So they're going to have to try to plan for plan B. But yeah, world record for the amount of Christmas lights on somebody's house. This
America. Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
yes. And then
That's like it's on the other side of the continent, and I hate the guy.
I
That
know.
sounds like you could see it from space. I mean, that you could see it from space. I'm sure that the International Space Station goes buzzing by, and really it's a gift to them. That's who it's for. They don't get to see the Christmas lights. We get to drive around and do our little holiday tours and see what people are doing, see what kind of great stuff they're putting in their yards and on the roofs. Space astronauts don't get that. So let's do it for them. I appreciate this, man, so much.
I know. It's awesome. And then
That means who's coming to Sydney, Nova Scotia for total solar eclipse?
Santa
Santa.
Claus. Oh, sorry. He should
Santa's gonna have to find it. So I think that to make sure Santa gets there, we need to light up Sydney, Nova Scotia with Christmas lights of the magnitude that they can see it from space.
I'm pretty sure the eclipse will light Sydney, Nova Scotia. What else you got there, Brandon? We got 3 more people to chat to.
All right. So we got another great story here. Burlington, Wyoming. There's a 27-foot snowman. That's the eye catcher there in the community. So there's one woman, she decided to build how many snowmen for 400 for everybody in the community to have in their front yard. I like that. That's awesome. And then this, yes, we're going into the strange facts here. I know everybody loves strange facts. So honey badgers, not only do they eat porcupines, they also eat poisonous snakes. raid beehives for honey, kidnap baby cheetahs, and steal food from hungry lions. Now,
You don't even
I thought
care.
that is awesome.
They also vote Donald Trump. Out of
Honey Badger don't
control.
care.
Hey,
We've all seen
Brandon.
the Honey Badger video.
Honey Badger.
Brandon, did you hear
Yikes.
about that
Yikes.
temperature difference in Calgary yesterday? I heard a huge temperature difference just across one side of the city to the other.
Oh, yes. One side of the city was near the freezing mark, and the other side is like 12 degrees. Calgary, I tell you. The trickiest
Inversion,
place
eh?
to forecast.
Inversion happening?
A little bit of inversion in one side of the city. So I know
Yeah.
we had the inversion over us yesterday as well. So actually the day before we had the inversion. And then actually, yeah, Drumheller, they pretty much stayed below freezing all day yesterday. But yeah, you get the inversion. So that's when the westerly winds, you get your westerly winds. So especially this time of year, the westerly winds, they're the thing. That's the thing that changes your temperature the most. So you get your westerly winds picking up, and
You're
that
making
boosts
Imogen
the temperature. Yes, I'm
No,
doing that on purpose, aren't I?
no, actually, what I'm kind of giggling about is that what no one else seems to have noticed is that Hilding is asleep. So once again,
He heard his name.
once again, Hilding has fallen asleep. This happens occasionally.
Dude
We
was
are
up
so
with the
excited.
cows at 5 a.m., man.
We are so exciting. We put our own panelists to sleep. So once again,
Oh.
Hilding has fallen asleep on a live panel. This is delightful.
I guess
I
Hildy
found
doesn't
it
want to
on-
go next.
I just found it on support. Japan is the most disciplined country on earth.
Oh my god, in Japan.
Well, given the robot toilets, they would have to be. It takes a lot of discipline to design and use a robot toilet,
Especially when they explode.
right? This is a terrifying and impressive thing.
Okay, who wants to go next? Who wants to go next here?
Yeah,
Not
there you
Hilding.
go.
He's
Yeah,
making
Hilding
a
needs to make
coffee.
some coffee.
I'll
Hilding
take a
definitely
sip of
needs a little
coffee,
coffee.
make
Might
sure
need a
I'm
Red Bull.
Okay, maybe Hilding does want to go, but before he falls asleep again, up at the
Over in
crack of dawn,
Japan,
are you?
over in Japan, they're way ahead of us.
Yeah, they are. Hilding, up with the cows, were you?
Well, we're running into a predicament here this year in that we had a dry summer and a lot of our water holes are low on water, and we're not having much snow. Now, some people say you shouldn't make cows eat snow because it cools down their body mass, but it's a big argument among farmers because if you give them water, in order to keep them supplied with enough water, you have to make water that freezes into ice. Then they slip and fall and hurt themselves. They shouldn't really be out on ponds drinking out of a hole in the pond because they'll slip and fall and hurt themselves. So
We also
we're
had cows
running
go
into
through
a
the
problem.
pond. We had
What's
cows
that?
go through the ice.
Oh yeah, they'll fall through the ice. Mhm.
So you don't want that.
So I mean, like we're running into a problem right now that we like to have enough snow that they get used to eating snow and then they don't hurt themselves slipping on ice. Whereas a lot of farmers will try to give them water and then the water gets too warm and then they bloat on warm water. That's no good either. So, I mean, it's a fine balancing act.
My God, them cows are out of control.
It doesn't matter if you're trying to please people or cows, you never seem to get anywhere.
Well, yeah, there is some. Yeah, I know. What about you, Imogen or Hank? Who wants to go?
Hank, how about you go? What's
Hank
going on in
Leistra,
the world?
how's been the weather in Wilkie, and how come you got no snow yet? Wilkie, Saskatchewan, and how come you're not out looking at the Northern Lights right now? Is it because it's snowing?
You know what? I really want to do and have wanted to do for a lot of years is have more of a chance to actually go skating on some lakes because that's fun and it's neat. I like to see what's out there on the ice, and sometimes you get like these pressure ridges where um, the wind, when the ice is when the lake is only partially frozen, the wind will blow pieces of ice and it'll come up against more solid area of ice, and then you'll get ridges of ice that run sometimes for a mile or more across the lake, where it's all the ice is pressed up together, almost like a fault in the earth or something. And so sometimes you see that on lakes, and there's a lot of neat stuff that you wouldn't think you'd find in the ice that you do when you skate on some of the bigger lakes out there. So hopefully I get to do a little bit of lake skating this December. It's just getting where the ice is now thick enough to be safe. Up until now, it's been more unsafe. But I noticed there was people measuring ice thickness on Jackfish Lake last weekend. And after measuring it, they were walking way out on the ice to do some ice fishing. So it looks like out there at Jackfish Lake near North Battleford, the ice is starting to get safe now. Yeah.
Jackfish
But
season on Jackfish Lake.
Yeah, Jackfish Lake, right near North Battleford, it's a big one. Yeah, it's famous for having a lighthouse, and it's a landlocked lake.
A lighthouse, eh?
It's just a tourist thing. It doesn't actually serve any purpose other than tourism.
Yeah, no, I get that because yeah, people sit around talking about their next vacation in North Battleford.
They even have a light on the top of it that goes around. It's really bright.
Like I was thinking about going to Florida, but there's a lighthouse in North Battleford. I mean, just fly from Newfoundland to North Battleford.
Mm-hmm.
We like we like your lighthouse here, there, boys.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've not been out photographing Northern Lights. It's going on right now, Hank.
I should have been, but I'm just getting too old to drag my butt out of bed these days. I don't, unless it's a weekend. I have a really hard time getting out there at nighttime anymore. I used to do it a lot, but it's hard now.
It's going on right now, but you chose to be with us, so that's great. And I saw Ryan Krause bemoaning the just the terrible storm season you guys had this year. So
it was not good.
I posted one of my videos of fire and lightning and hail, and I said I had a pretty good storm season, and he commented, "I enjoyed that."
What did I see earlier? About a couple of hours ago, they just reported 3 more tornadoes in Alberta from this last summer. Yes.
Oh.
Two EF1s and another EF0.
So 3 more confirmations. As Alberta is like, it wasn't good enough that you beat Saskatchewan this year. No, you're like, you just couldn't let it go. Like, actually, we beat you quite a bit. Your storm season was dead.
So we should get him on the show sometime, Ryan Krause.
Yes, please. I've tried to get him on. I don't think he understands that. Maybe he does understand. maybe I'm not that good at this. Imogen Cookie Bailey. This is not the Christmas episode. I told people on my Facebook today, the big Christmas episode. I must have jumped the gun because I had no idea.
He can talk a mile a minute. That guy. He can really talk.
I would love it if he did. Imogen, no Christmas episode right now.
That's fine.
Yes. So what's the plan?
For what?
Talking to you.
What are you talking about?
What's our Christmas episode plan then?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I put some information in the group chat for the core group, and then you decided 2 hours before showtime that we were going to do a 3-hour recording with no preparation, no guests, and no material lined up.
That's not exactly how it went.
Until I pointed
But
out the
no,
logistics
we have
of
a plan
that
for
and why it
next
didn't
week,
work.
right? You have a plan, right? That's all I'm asking about. Not to
Invite
make up
guests and
silly
generate
things.
videos from the year for the year-end wrap-up. Year-end wrap-up. These are the kind of details that we have like the actual core group chat thread for. That's what that group is for.
I thought that was your
planning it on the air.
I thought that was your plan, was that we are gonna have a Christmas episode this week, and then I was wrong. But anyways, I thought you had a plan, so it was like I thought here would be a good time to tell people what our plan was. But anyways, what else you got this week?
No, I just said if you want to be all festive themed giver, that's all I said. This isn't a festive plan. It's just if you feel like we're in a Santa hat or chomping on a candy cane or something. I happen to have a tacky little tree right there. That's for Morbo. That's for my cat. I put that tree up, and it's right by a poster of a whole bunch of TV movie gangsters. Well, to be fair, when I was in Miami, one of the cool highlights was cruising around in the bay in a speedboat, and we went and drove past the Scarface mansion. The mansion used in the movie. It was right there, so we got to go check out the front yard. So that was neat. And I think Scarface is in there somewhere. It's all movie guys, so one of the tackier things in my Halloween house. So here's something that was a cool discovery in the world of science just recently. As of like a few days ago, it was announced. In the Argentina desert, 12,000 feet elevation, place there's no roads. Scientists actually found an exotic little world, this delightful little oasis that has not been seen before. Believe it or not, there's actually a lot of areas of the planet that we have never set foot on. Cruising over an airplane is one thing, but actually taking note of what's down there and documenting it is different. So up in the White Salt Plains, atop of Punya de Atacama, however you pronounce it, I don't speak whatever language is spoken there, so I'm butchering that. There's actually a system of greenish lagoons harboring huge bacterial communities called stromatolites that created layered mounds as they expanded. Now, I'm reading this from Mashable.com, so that's my source here. That's what I'm reading off of. So the ecosystem there, what they're thinking is that it's because it's so untouched. This is sort of similar to Darwin's discovery of the Galapagos, documentation and discovery of that, where stuff has been untouched in so long that scientists are actually thinking that this is a representation of what the Earth looked like billions of years ago when primitive organisms in general, just started appearing and crawling around and doing stuff. So the lagoon there, they're thinking that it could be one of the best modern examples of the earliest signs of life on the planet. So yeah, it's a very exciting discovery. It's pretty impressive that you can still find little areas like that. So that was a cool discovery just recently in space. And second, awesome and very impressive discovery is a giant ocean floating out in the universe. And it is, okay, so this one I saw on Unilad. 2 teams of astronomers had discovered the largest and farthest reservoir of water ever detected in the universe. It's substantially larger than all of the water on Earth, all smashed together. It's more than that. It's the equivalent to 140 trillion times all of the planet's oceans slammed together. Yeah, it's actually sitting just outside of a quasar, which is outside of a black hole. If you don't know what that is, quasar sort of exists outside of a black hole, and liquid as material is going into the black hole, little droplets of water are kind of just falling off, and they've all come together and form this ocean that's just sort of hovering around there. So a giant water orb outside of a quasar, neighboring a black hole. How cool is that?
That's pretty cool.
Sea monsters in space is what I'm thinking. Sea monsters and space sharks.
Other news, the Geminid meteor shower peaks tonight. Cyclone Jasper crosses Australia's east coast, a Category 2 storm in the past week. Tennessee hit by snowfall, rain, gusty winds, northeast. Tennessee recovering from deadly tornadoes that happened last week. And endangered species list grows by 2,000. Climate change blamed. great news. Yeah, that's some of the weather news this week from around the world. What about those tornadoes? 6 dead, nearly 2 dozen injured. That was what about those tornadoes, Brandon? There's been some tornado action down there. We're in second tornado season.
Yes, so that would be the fall tornado season, they call it in that part of the United States, and it's definitely pretty common to get tornadoes at that time of year, at this time of year, in that part of the United States at least. And they had a couple of significant tornadoes, one touching down Clarksville, Tennessee, and another one just on the outskirts of Nashville, Tennessee, the big city there, and significant damage. And as mentioned, 6 lives were lost, but a lot of people helping out with donating funds and stuff for the tornado victims this week as well. So that's pretty good to see indeed. And I think one more weather story I found this week as well. China has really taken a brunt on some winter weather.
I just wanted to add before you skip to China that that happened nearly 2 years to the day of the Bowling Green tornadoes, in which 17 people were killed. So yeah, that's a terrible time of year to have that kind of thing happen. I mean, people are gearing up for getting off work for a week. If people who can afford to take holidays. We call it the holidays as if it's a holiday for everybody. The cashier at Walmart doesn't have a holiday or whatever. The holiday season. I guess that's why we call it the holiday season, because not everyone gets holidays. Okay, in China?
Yeah, so in China there, they've had some cold conditions, like cold wave with significant snow and blizzards in Beijing there this week, and temperatures record-breaking lows in both Beijing and Shanghai. Like 36-year-old, big records. And school shut down. 22 million, city of nearly 22 million shut all the schools on Wednesday and moved the classes online in China. So I guess they didn't get a snow day, but so that was last time Beijing experienced such cold weather.
They get the rainy season in the summer.
Oh yeah.
And Frankie was mentioning that earlier in his segment that pretty cold in northeastern China, northwestern
China. That's where winter is. If you're wondering, it's in China.
Gotcha. They took our winter.
Mm-hmm.
It's the conspiracy.
Brandon, you see the footage from Tennessee where there's a tornado ongoing.
Yep.
Tornado hits a power plant of some sort.
And then there's an explosion.
There's a big explosion.
That was an incredible. I wish I could show it
too.
because it's going to be on cable TV. I can't put it in the video. It's crazy. Look it up. Tennessee tornado explosion.
Yeah,
Continue.
and it seems to pause the tornado for a few seconds. That you can't really, when the explosion goes off, it seems like the tornado just kind of, wait a minute, let me get myself back together here now, and then it starts going tornado again after a few seconds. But it took a while.
I saw that. That was really cool.
It did seem to disrupt its energy for a second there, for sure. Yeah, I guess it would, right? But it was an incredible explosion, just boom, and fireball and I actually made a short clip of it and shared it on my Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because and it says right on it, not for broadcast. So I definitely can't take that clip and put it on TV. And that's a definite no. We do not have permission to show you that video.
Then there was a guy who drove into the tornado and got it on his dash cam too.
I saw that.
People were really hard on him, but you know what? I saw a longer video, and he's driving through okay weather, and all of a sudden he gets into this crazy weather, and it kind of came out of nowhere. So the obvious thing that comes into a person's mind is it wasn't bad a minute ago, so I'm going to turn around. So he turned around. He thought he did what he thought was right, but it got him into even more trouble.
A guy drove into a tornado. I didn't see that one. No.
Darien Gap is the most dangerous nature place in the world.
Where is?
Not like the crime of the city. It's wild animals and dangerous bugs.
Where's this, Frankie?
The area and gap in between Panama and Colombia.
Yeah. That's the I don't go there because it's dangerous. So don't you do it either, Frankie. On your world tour, stay out of that place.
The area
So
and gap is
Frankie,
really.
Frankie, how do they find you if you're not on world tour? How do people find you?
If you want to find me on social media, my link tree is Frankie McDonald. My blue tie is at Frankie MacD. My Twitter is at Frankie MacD. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Instagram is Frankie MacD194. My TikTok is FrankDonald194. My Clapper is FrankDonald194. My Twitch is FrankDonald194. My Snapchat is FrankieMCD1. My YouTube channel is Dogs Moves, and my LinkedIn is Frankie Donald. Best luck to you. I'm Frankie Donald. You're listening to me watch Weather Report every Thursday nights.
That's Frankie McDonald. How many subscribers are you up to now on the YouTube?
284,000 subscribers.
284,000. That's Frankie McDonald. Yes, he's the star of the show. And we are his sportcast. I'm Joey Olney out here in Wells, British Columbia. Thanks for joining us here in the Comedy Meteorology Report, your show about how much the weather sucks everywhere. Everywhere. It's never does what you want it to. And that's the way the weather is. With us, as usual, is Brandon Houck, the weatherman out there in Brooks, Alberta. And we had Hildy Donaldson, who's sleeping up there in Grassy Plains. And we got Hank Vliestra, Ian Wilkie, Saskatchewan, Storm Chaser Hank Vliestra, and Imogen
2.4
Bailey.
subscribers on YouTube. 2.4.
2.4 subscribers.
Yes.
That's good. We're hopefully you get to that 3 mark that you've been shooting for all year.
It's that 0.4 that makes a world of difference. That's where you know that people are really paying attention and definitely not asleep at the wheel when they're online.
I made a pretty cool video this week and put it on my channel. If you know, have a look, Hank. You might like this. It's the secret German war for better weather reporting. I came across this in one of my videos studying for it. I found that the Germans during World War I and II did not have near the quality of weather reporting that the Allies had. So then I began thinking about that in terms of D-Day, when the British, the German ships weren't out to sea. The generals took off on a couple days off because they thought the weather was going to be bad. The Allies had better intel on the weather. D-Day happened successfully, and there was only that tight weather window. And I'm thinking ahead to these things. It's like, well, what is the story of the Germans' failure to get better weather? So I made this whole video, and then it got red flagged. I was like, sorry, copyright. And I appealed, just saying, like, please explain to me how historic footage is copyrighted. And I guess I knew that clip actually is a produced clip that I stole. So, but then the next day, Lasso Group releases the video to you. So, right on. So my video is not restricted in any way. So
Recently, we put that together.
Yeah, just this week. I spent like 24 straight hours. That's what I'm doing up here.
I'd like to see that. You got great content, and it sounds really interesting.
I think you'll like this.
Something about it on one of your social medias there, but I haven't watched the video yet.
You're from Dutch background, we're us Dutchmen. The war means something to us. Speaking of which, happy birthday to my mother. Ali Haveman turned 65 today. She wasn't very. She's only 20 years older than me, so that's great. I get to have had that great experience of mom not being really old all my life. And she's not really old. She's still awesome. So happy you've all met Mom. Happy birthday, Mom. That's 8:00, Frankie.
That's 8:00 your time.
Yeah.
That's the show.
That's the show, everybody. That's the show for this week, December 14th edition of the Comedeorological Report. We'll see you next time, everybody. It may or may not be a Christmas episode. None of us care that much.
We're not a festive group, is what you're trying to say.
Well, they're not paying me to be festive, then why?
Okay. Joey's outlook on life. Pay for my love. Okay. On that note, thank you for watching the Comedeorological Report on Rogers TV.
Excellent catch. And
I am Imogen Cookie Bailey. You can find me at www.imogen.in. That's IMOGEN.in. It's 8:01 and Frankie's still here. What have we done wrong?
oh yeah, well that's okay because usually when I edit, I end up missing a few minutes anyway. So going over by a minute is okay in the editorial board. Yes, that's the show.
I have one last question for Frankie.
Yes.
Are you there, Frankie? Are the Oilers, the Edmonton Oilers, ever going to lose another game?
They're trying their best.
Yeah, they're on an
Good
amazing
answer, man.
Yeah.
That's a good
What,
answer.
The Oilers are
won
suddenly winning.
8 games in a row now.
Oh,
They won the Battle of the Connors. Connor McDavid versus Connor
They're
Bedard.
still a garbage team.
And they're making the Maple Leafs look silly.
No, they're not. The Leafs were just had a 10-game point streak.
Brooks Bandits
They
actually
went 9-1-3 on that time.
That means
they've been
time's
winning-
up. That's the show.
Okay.
The craziest fan.
Time's up.
Thank you, Frankie.
Recording stopped.
Oh my god, I cannot. And Frankie's out.
Here
Right,
he
Right.
goes.
I gotta run. I gotta go take care of something like right away. I'll
I have to go to the bathroom like really badly.
About 5 minutes ago, I heard a sound. Something is upsetting Morbo's tummy, and he just had the most horrific diarrhea ever about 4 feet away behind me. And that's why I put the camera off. That's why I put the camera off. I turned to look, and then I realized we had 5
How
minutes
close
left.
how close to your tree was it?
It's on the floor. The tree's up on a thing there. The tree's
It's close enough
so-
that you might consider it a Christmas gift.
Everything that boy does is a gift. He is a gift from hell. I adore him. He's my little demon child. But to be fair, my middle name is that of a Hebrew demon. Not even kidding. My middle name is Asmodeus, which is Hebrew demon. So it's only natural that my feline hellcat son would have some sort of demonic traits. And pure evil just came out his back end. So he's just exercised his dinner out of him. So I gotta go deal with
That's what you get.
I gotta go deal with the damn exorcism. It's so bad in here right now. So
That made my week.
yep, I'm thrilled. Fortunately, I have a carpet cleaner like in the hall closet because I get really uptight about spills and things. Spills do not exist here. They are immediately cleaned with the proper carpet machine. So there's some things that I'm really, really bloody well OCD about. And yeah, having poop on the floor is one of them. So my plans for the evening have just been reprioritized.
I thoroughly now realizing how hard you must have been working to stay focused to that last 10 minutes of this show. That's
I am a fucking champ in some areas.
couple few, yep.
Yeah, here's a little piece of insight. I worked on a crappy little indie movie that years ago it got derailed. It never got finished. They lost funding or something. And I did a fight scene. It was a crappy little zombie movie. I did a fight scene. I was wearing high heels, and I was also doing contortion work at the time. Real low key, like light contortionism. Because I could do weird contortionist stuff then. So I did this zombie fight scene, and in the area where we're doing this shot, we've cleared it for anything that could cause injuries, except there's one tiny, big kind of little stone that we overmissed. So full force, I go flying back and I land, cracked my tailbone. I fractured my damn tailbone, went to work, didn't say a word. 8 months for this bastard to heal. I'm working in a fucking factory, carrying stuff, moving around. My coworkers are going, "You're limping. What's wrong?" I'm like, "It's nothing. I'm fine. Walk it off." At some point, they're like, no, something's clearly wrong. I'm like, no, I'm fine. Because I did like real weird fitness training at the time. Like I did crazy shit then. And they're like, no, well, what is it? And finally I said, I fractured my tailbone. I will not show you. But I fractured my tailbone. They're like, oh my God, sit down. I'm like, no, do not tell someone's a fractured tailbone to sit the fuck down. So I just kept lifting and moving stuff. And this is factory stuff. So it's a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of running your ass off because management is soulless, blood-sucking bastards. They do not care. It's a windowless facility. They threw a couple of meth heads in with us. They gave us a couple of methy staff who they knew were like smoking up on the job. They're like, no, you guys are good. I'm like, excellent. So I made the meth heads my generals. They're like, I was a manager. They're like my right-hand dudes. If you want repetitive, short, simple tasks done quickly, a guy on meth will do it.
For more meth. Just 2 more sleeps till Christmas.
Is
I didn't care
awful,
if he-
but
I didn't care if he took breaks every 20 minutes. He covered an hour of labor in those 20 minutes. The dude ran circles around everyone there. Quite literally. It was great. And then you just doodle Simpsons characters, just doing
my daughter had like the fractured tailbone thing, and man, she was sitting on one of those special donut type
Them
pillows.
donuts, eh?
Months. It was awful. You just wouldn't. It was just so uncomfortable for her for months and months and months.
There's no
And you
comfortable
nothing you
spot.
can do about it.
Yep.
Nothing you can do.
No,
There's
you
no
may have
comfortable
core
spot.
strength, but you can't sit.
Yep. What I did a lot of was I did like a lot of like wall sit, like the squat kind of thing where you're like doing like a squat, but you're leaning against the wall. So there's no chair. So on break or when I'm like, I need to sit. No, I'm not sitting. Fuck this. I'm not making it worse. I did that a couple times and because I kind of forgot, I just got in routine and then I'd sit and then I'm like, that was bad. So now I'm standing up and kind of hopping awkwardly. But I do a wall squat because I was training for a fitness competition and I was not going to accept a busted anything. Yeah. Oh boy. So on that note, I gotta go clean up for the boy. See y'all later next time. Bye.
Bye.
This is
Work Christmas party tomorrow for me.
oh,
So
I
you
got
gone
one
to
on
the cat
Saturday night.
I had to run to the bathroom. I thought about just doing it on the floor to make the point. And I was going to show her
Imogen was
this.
talking about. Imogen
gonna
was
show
talking about
Imogen
her
this.
cat.
Thank you to Jeff who left a super tonight. Someone bought a coffee, and that's great. Also, one of my fans sent me a pound of hash. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. I love gifts when it comes to Christmas time. So support the channel. Support Joey. Maybe I don't need any more hash, but but I wouldn't say no if anyone sends more. So
Stuff just puts me to sleep.
yeah, I can't wait.
Mm.
Speaking on that, I'm going to sign off here because we're done recording, I guess, and eat something because I never can fucking eat before a show, even back. It's something that's been my habit going back to my music career, and it began not as a nerves thing, sort of, but like maybe a little bit, but just not wanting to fuck with my vocals, singing every night. You know what I mean? Like, see, we'd show up of course, what are they? Half the time, like, well, here's pizza. We got the band pizza. Like, I just got in this habit of not eating much before a show, and then not being able to sit down and not being able to relax, and even though I'm, I guess, relaxed, but compared to most people, but that continues to this day. So again, a Thursday, I managed to get some samosas into me for a brief period before we started, but I need to eat something. It's that time. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thanks to everybody that left a comment, and I'll try to get the show edited up and out tomorrow, the final version, as per usual. Thank you, Kevin Sauter. Thank you, Jeff S. for the super. Thank you, Rachel Gardner. Lots of snow in Verdon and Salmon Arm today, she says. Watching Christmas Vacation and laughing and
Save the neck for me, Clark. Yeah.
And Brian, who never comes on the show, and it breaks my heart. But he says 17-year anniversary of the Hanukkah windstorm that hit the Pacific Northwest in BC. 120-foot tall Douglas fir fell through his master bedroom on this day. So that's, yeah. I never had that happen to a house I lived in, but it happened to my uncle's house back in 85, 83 or something like that. So I remember the tree being on the house, and like, it sucked, I guess, to have a tree on your house, you know. It's not something you want to do. Hopefully, before the year ends, Brian Schmidt, our Portland weatherman, will join us on the show. So, yeah, last week we had so many people on the last couple weeks. This week we had us, and that was great. Thanks, Hank and Hilding and Hauk. Hank, Hilding and Hauk.
Hank Hilding now. Yeah.
We're signing off. This is Joey with Hilding, Hank, and Hauk. This is my cousin Hilding, my other cousin Hank, my cousin Hauk, my other cousin Daryl.
Hocus pocus.
Hocus pocus. Okay, we'll see you next time, guys. Love yous. Ciao.